What is on top of the deck? What is on top of the deck? Oh, it's Lightning Helix! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Welcome to Hunt the Week.
Hello everyone and welcome into the show. Welcome on in each and every one of you knights, rogues, clerics, cats, yes, even dogs. I accept you all as you are. 2-2 for 2, 3-1 for 2, maybe even a 1-4 for 2. Your class does not matter to me. All that matters is that you play the game and you play it fair. That's right, this is Hunt the Week, a weekly Magic the Gathering podcast about the Sealed Arena Gauntlet League that we all love and play in. We are in March of the Machines, week 3, getting ready to wrap this thing up, getting ready for week 4, and we got a lot to talk about today. We got a guest, first time in the league, first time on the show, came on, had to get the new player perspective. We got to talk about what packs are being picked like hotcakes that's going to go away. What packs are we maybe looking to open next week? There's just so much going on. We got the feature matches on Monday. We got the new show, Surgical Bay, with me and Chris York. New episode just dropped. Go check that out. There's so much going on, and it's hard to keep track of it all, right? There's so much in the server. So please, join me for Hunt the Week's third week in Mom, and let's prepare for battle. That's right, as I record, it is about 4:30 on Thursday, and this is your current top 8. Mitchell S., Spaghetti Mitch, 13-2. Pierre Marc D., PM Duguay, 13-2. Adam S. Wisma, 13-2. Daniel G. Frisky Hobbit, 12-3. Caleb G. Why Not, 12-3. Jake C., The Man Mulcahy, 11-3. Richard K. Preacher, 11-4, and Sawyer T. Soy Boy, 11-4. Our 5-0s this week are from Mitchell S. Spaghetti Mitch. Congratulations, Mitch. I see that your Spaghetti series is coming to an end with a very cool Mega Draft happening tonight. I hope everyone gets to either watch it or check it out. They're playing decks from the Mega Draft, and here's a hint. Pick my deck. It was really good. It had a Hullbreaker Horror in it. That's a good card. Another 5-0, Adam S. Wisma. Adam, 13-2. 3 13-2s after week 3 is just, man, brutal up there in the top. I feel like 2 losses. These guys are on 2 losses. It's just crazy. Congrats, Adam. League committee member, all-around nice guy. 13-2. And Sawyer, Soy Boy, 11-4, also went 5-0 this week. I know, because I was that 5th win of his, which means I got a loss. So thank you, Sawyer. Appreciate that. Always fun to play you. And we are wrapping up week 3 in March of the Machines, getting ready for week 4. Let's take a look at what packs have been opened this week. Currently, as I record, we have had 278 mom packs, 234 non-mom packs, and SNC is the hot leader right now with 42 packs open. I'll tell you what, I picked up 2 SNC packs myself. In fact, SNC has 42 packs taken. Strixhaven had 38, and that's already gone. So we'll see. We'll see if anything can beat 42. That's a lot of packs. So watch out for all those SNC cards floating around out there. Then we got Bro with 19, Eldraine with 13, and 1 with 11. Looks like it's going to be Bro and SNC gone this week, although I could see Eldraine making a push. I really could. But SNC and Bro look to be gone. We're getting into, all the great stuff's gone. All the, bonus sheet packs are gone after Bro leaves. What's going to happen next? I think next is just people taking what they need for their deck, right? Like, people know what they want at this point and know what they kind of want to open. And based off what's left, I think they're just going to start zeroing in on those packs. Looks like, based off the data, Eldraine and 1 will probably be picked a lot, as people seem to those have a high power level. But then you got Vow and Mid. Those barely had any packs taken last week. This week, 6 Vow, 3 Mid. So those could be flying off the shelves like we're having a fire sale. So hopefully you know what kind of packs you want to open next week. I know I've got my pack in mind. as a Yorion player. I was off Yorion for one game against Sawyer. Sawyer beat me. I opened a really good green card. Back on my Yorion Sultai stuff. Come at me. I went 3-2 on the week. Not a bad week. It's a winning record. Total record of 8-7 right now. Not looking great, but I'm not out of this thing. I have 1 or 2 good weeks, and I could be up there. That could be me, up there in that top 8. Probably not, but it could be. It always happens to somebody, and why not me? Maybe it's my chance and my time to shine. Well, really, the podcast is my time to shine, and I had a guest on this week who it's their time to shine now, right? Watch me as I pass the torch, the Hunt the Week Olympic torch from one to another. And please join me as I call for backup.
You called for backup.
That's right. This week I called for backup with new player, new to the server. Well, not a new player, new to the server, I guess. New to the league is what makes him a new player. He's not new to Magic, as we will learn in the interview. But every now and then I like to reach out to a new player, usually in the big leagues. And I reach out to a new player because I like that new player perspective, right? We know how this league works, and we know what we're trying to do, and we know what to expect. So I think we can lose that perspective sometimes of someone who doesn't know how the server works, or maybe doesn't even know how Discord works. Because I know I didn't when I started. So I reached out to a new player that I had played in week 1. We had a great conversation. We chatted while we played. It was one of those nice moments, where he says, "Hey, you want to get in voice chat?" And I say, "Yeah, sure." And we're chit-chatting. We're doing a little trash talk. We're playing some good games. And I said, "I got to get you on this show." And we struggled to schedule for a couple weeks, but we finally made it happen. So join me this week as I talk to Wyatt C, a.k.a. Hot Dolphin, all about their introductory Arena Gauntlet League. All right, everyone, join me as I call for backup with Wyatt C, a.k.a. Hot Dolphin. Thanks for coming on the show, Wyatt.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you for inviting me. Yeah.
Hey, I thank you for coming on. You got to make time out of your busy schedule. First you got to find time to play the games, and then you got to come on the podcast and talk about the games. It's a lot, I understand, but I appreciate it.
No, I always like to talk about Magic with people. I feel like I get to play more than I get to talk about it, so it's actually quite nice to just kind of talk about it.
It's fun. It's fun to talk about it, and I want to know, Wyatt, when did you start playing Magic?
Well, my brother, he got me into Magic when I was very young. I remember him acquiring the Goblin versus Elves dual deck when I was a lot younger, but we never really learned how to play. It just kind of sat around the house. We would look at the cards, stuff like that. And then I have memories of learning how to play around original Ravnica. I remember that, and I was still playing at home with my brother. He kind of taught me how to play because he was taking it more seriously, and he needed somebody to play test with because we lived in a small town with no Magic stores nearby for like at least an hour.
Oh, wow.
Maybe longer, depending on. And he just got his driver's license. He was still in high school. I was like elementary school, middle school, and so he had to have somebody to play test with, and none of his friends at school really played that much. So he just taught me how to play. We also lived out in the country, so it wasn't really easy to get friends together to do that kind of stuff. But as he kept playing, and we eventually moved to a more central like town, more urban town. Like it had a little bit more going on. He went to college essentially, and he made some more friends. Him and his friends did like a Lorwyn draft. One of them bought a box, and they actually did it. They actually did it for prizes. They were just like one of them was like buying unopened packs, and they were trying to sell them and flip them. But he hosted a tournament, and I remember doing that. I remember drafting a blue-white Merfolk deck that was pretty mediocre because I still didn't understand the importance of grabbing uncommons. I just got a bunch of copies of mediocre Merfolk commons. And I didn't do great, but I functioned, and it was a fun time. And then after my brother was more in college and I had like high school and stuff like that, I actually started playing more seriously. I played with friends. My first pre-release was Dragon's Maze.
Ooh,
yeah,
nice.
It was Dragon's Maze. Yeah, that was a fun one. And yeah, I just yeah. So I've been playing for a while, but as far as like going to regular tournaments and playing and stuff, it was Dragon's Maze. I did some GPs and stuff eventually as well. Didn't do great. Never really made day two. Did side events after the first GP I went to. I just started going for side events. I love limited, so I just grinded limited. So I love that
Yeah,
stuff. I
that's what I
did,
do.
yeah. I did one notable game I did play was against Sam Black in a two-headed giant draft,
Ooh,
and that was nerve-wracking because I was not ready for that. But I remember taking that game. We didn't win that draft though, but I did win that game, and I bragged about that the whole rest of the trip, and so did my brother to everybody else because
yeah,
that felt big.
that's something to brag about, right? You take down one of the pros, especially Sam Black. Like he's like a mastermind, right? Oh,
Yeah,
that's so cool.
that was Theros too. That was during Theros set, so he was still like he was regularly playing, like still doing his aggro thing and all that. So it felt good.
Oh,
It felt good.
that's so cool. I miss GPs. I did the same thing. I would go. I played in the main event like a couple times when I first started playing Magic, and then I would just go and play in side events. And oh, I love just drafting all day and doing weird like chaos drafts and whatever the flavor is that's going on. Oh, I really miss it. I love it. I was able to go to a SCG con like a month or two ago, and it was
Mm.
oh felt good to be back. It was another one of those big events. Just drafted for a couple days. It was so cool.
Yeah, I would love to go to another one again. I just gotta find time to because I live in an area where they're not a lot of them hosted really close by. So yeah, I have to make a trip at it. If I go, I'm probably gonna take a trip and go and enjoy my time. But I
Yeah,
really want to again soon because I really love going to GPs.
yeah, it's fun. It's and you see all the people, you get the vendors, you see the prize table. Oh, it's so cool. Well,
It's
how
such
did
a
you?
cool
Oh, go
experience.
ahead. Yeah, it's oh,
Okay,
it's.
no, I'm done. That's all I just want to say. Yeah.
How did you find the league? Did you come in from Reddit? A lot of people come in from Reddit.
Yeah, it was Reddit. I was trolling limited Reddits when mom was dropping to try to find, strategy and stuff, preparing for the pre-release. I was just reading limited strategy and stuff like that. And I couldn't tell you who the post was from, but I saw a post about the AGL, the Arena Gauntlet League, and I joined. And then I saw that they are actually doing like a league, like a mom league proper. And I was like, oh, well, I think I can get involved in this. Sounds awesome. So, yeah.
And then you get hooked. That's how they get you. They get you in. You find a cool mom league, and now you're on the server, and you're like, we played in week one. We started chatting. We had a good time. I said, oh, got to get this guy on the show. We got to talk mom league, and now you've been mixing it up with a bunch of people on the server. You're having a great time.
Yeah, I've got to talk to and play with some other people too. That's also been great. Like that stipulate, I'll get to that later. But yeah, I've there's other people who've been. It's been fun to play with and talk to them.
Yeah, it's the community is top notch, and of course we welcome you and thank you for coming. And those Reddit posts they pay off every time we post them. There's always like some discussion of like do the Reddit posts still work? And it's like, almost every new person that comes on my show comes on from Reddit. So yeah, the Reddit posts they do work. They bring people in.
Yeah, I imagine new sets also bring people in. I definitely saw a huge influx of people when March to the Machine was coming out. Like I had like a bunch of people join.
Yeah, this has been a good set for new players and just a good set all around. I think we're all enjoying it. So
Hmm.
that's a great segue, Wyatt. Let's talk about the Mom League. How is it going? I want the new player perspective, right? So you're new to the league, you're figuring out how things work. We got this LFM bot. You add packs on like a bot. You play with all these people. How has your experience been? How is your deck? How are you doing? I want to hear all about it.
Well, I definitely wasn't expecting so much automation, and it was a very pleasant surprise. Like looking for matches bot, the pack generation bot, and adding it to my sealed deck is so easy, much easier than I thought it would be. I haven't really used software outside of Arena besides like 17 lands. Like I haven't used deck managing software. So sealed deck was a new website to me, but the Discord made it pretty easy to figure out how it's supposed to work. And like overall, I've been really enjoying it. I'm feeling pretty good about my deck. I'm pretty bummed about the Tygam Pyro Helix bug that cost me to reset two games that ended in a
Oh
draw,
no.
but that I discovered. I'm sure other people might have discovered it, but yeah, it happened twice in a row. So I assume it's a pretty consistent thing. But besides that, I think I have a pretty sweet like Jeskai Blitz deck forming, and I'm probably just going to keep leaning into that, trying to keep refining it because it feels pretty good, and I really enjoy playing it. I think I'm kind of a tempo player in general, so it's right up my alley.
Nice.
And um yeah, like overall, I it's been a great experience in terms of how the league's actually functioning. I like a lot like the matches and everything, and how the deck and losses working, being able to pick certain packs specifically for mom. I like that rule set. I'm a big lore person, so I love the whole lore of like that they've been putting into the Discord about when planes fall, the paragraph or so they've been typing about like how what happens. I love that because I'm a huge lore person when it comes to Magic. I absolutely love the lore. It's what's kept me into the game for so long, I think.
They knock the lore out of the park in this thing. Like the last couple of leagues, they all have a theme, right? Then like this theme is like you can pick any pack, but only so many of mom, right? That's the theme here. And the
Mm-hmm.
way that they've been writing the story around it too, and the planes fall, and those all those planes are going to be important in the mega draft at the end. All the planes that were most picked, they're going to come back, and it's going to be so cool. So keep your eyes peeled for that mega draft that uses all the like these packs do matter. They will come back.
Yeah, I'm hoping to be a part of it for sure.
Oh,
Mega draft.
what's your record right now?
Well, I started off a little rough, I think, with 2-4 on the first week, and I haven't played my third week games, but week two, I'm at 5-5 so far. So I made a little
Nice.
bit of a comeback, and I'm hoping to push ahead in this week once I actually get to play my games, get them in.
Yeah, like get them in, start going. I started the week at 5-5 myself. I'm currently 7-7, 2-2 so far. So
Oh, nice, nice.
let's see you get up there. Let's get that 5-0-4-1 week. Start pushing you up there, and get cracking some packs. What packs have you been taking? Have you been taking the mom packs? Or are you going off plane at all?
Um, I haven't taken the mom packs. The fact that the packs fall week to week have just got me too tempted to refuse taking the packs that I may not have access to. So I am a little swayed by what other people are taking, but only so much so that if that set needs to have synergy with what I'm trying to do for me to prioritize it. Um, so I took a lot of DMU because of I was really literally looking for just the red blue uncommon, the iconoclast, to to synergize with my spell slinging deck that I have going on. Never got it though, unfortunately,
Oh
before
no.
DMU fell. But then I did War first though because War had Planeswalkers. Planeswalkers strong, game changing,
Yep.
and I was like, if I get Ashiok or if I get anything even remotely in my colors or any kind of other bomb, that was before I was dedicated to it. I could have pivoted. Didn't really get anything too great out of those, to be honest, but that's fine. I did get Tomic, which is just a solid 2 drop, 2 mana, 2/3 flying,
Yeah, not bad.
good, solid. But besides that, I know I'm probably gonna just take more Ravnica stuff coming up this week if I had to take a guess. To the is the I forget which set it was. There's Allegiance before War of the Spark. There's Allegiance and then
Fields.
Guilds, and whichever one has the Is It League in it, I'm probably gonna try to take some of those to bolster the whole because Jumpstart would be
Yeah.
ridiculous with
Yeah. Jumpstart, is it? That's great.
yeah. That is the name of the mechanic, right? Jumpstart. I got
Yeah,
that
yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Oh
sorry.
yeah, yeah.
I thought
No.
of this. I thought of the set for a second. I'm like, wait a second.
You're
Is
you're
it the
nailing
set
it. Well,
or?
I think it's Jumpstart, and it got me questioning it. I think no, yeah, I think it's Jumpstart.
Yeah, I just as soon as I said it, I was like, wait, that's a set. That can't be a mechanic and a set. But yeah,
I think it was a mechanic first, and then later on it became
and
the
yeah,
the
and
weird
then a
sets.
set. Yeah. So I just feel like Jumpstart with spell slinging is just going to be real strong. Um, but yeah, I'm really enjoying the multi pack thing, and I don't know what I'm going to take past that. I haven't really thought past it, but
Are
yeah,
you
that's what
gonna
I've
go
taken so
back
far.
and take your mom packs? As you still get
Uh,
5 mom packs if you want.
Yeah, eventually. If there's, I don't know, like Mom is really strong. It has very high power level, so I don't want to miss out on it. But if the longer I wait, I'm not necessarily guaranteed to lose matches. So I don't know. I may take some of them this week because as far as there's synergy, but those cards are just such a lower power level than Mom packs. I think I could get some busto stuff out of Mom for
Yeah,
sure.
the mom pack. I mean, the double, triple rare packs. They just it's
Yeah.
scary stuff out there.
I didn't get to snag any Strixhaven. I wanted to because Mystical Archives. Because like if I
Yeah,
just get if I get a shock or a lightning bolt, like
yeah. You can grab lightning bolt.
I'll forget a time
FIL
warp.
knows all about that. Time warp. Yeah, and they start looping them. Approach of the second sun. There's some.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. There's some real fun stuff in there. Same thing with Bro. If they're like their weird artifact slot. You can get some really good stuff in there. Bro's been a pack that people aren't taking as much as I would have expected, but I kind of get it because it is, I don't know. I roll the packs and I see what it is. So I get it.
Yeah, now bro is strong too, and artifacts can, go in anything.
Yeah,
Like,
right. Any deck, you're gonna have cards in there that you can play. I just opened a pack of S and C, and no, only a couple of things in there. I didn't hit anything too great in that thing.
yeah, I would like to optimize my deck. I'm Jeskai right now, but if I can cut a color or go like only down to two colors for not efficiency, but consistency, that would
Yeah,
be ideal. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
yeah. You got to see where the packs take you. Maybe you can
Yeah,
switch color. You never know. That's the thing.
yeah, you never know.
You never know. Yeah, it's hard to make a plan when next thing you open a pack, you get some big bomb and some other color you're not even really considering, and then you go, oh, maybe I should be this other color. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Luckily, that hasn't happened to me yet. I have one bomb that I'm not playing. It's in my pool I kept staring at. It was Glissa, and that was in my base pool. But I'm like, I just don't have like she's good just on her own. She can win games, but I didn't have a solid black green. And outside of mom, she doesn't do too much. I mean, Phyrexians are in other sets, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think it's good as the Jeskai stuff I got going on.
So you're a new player, new to the league, Wyatt. I would love to know, as a new player, have there been any struggles that you've had in the league or any things that have been hard to figure out? I know a lot of us are entrenched and we kind of know how everything works. So we don't get to see the side of a new player a lot. So have you had any issues at all in the server?
Hmm. Uh, the main issue that I've had is just it's not even really related to Discord and the server. It's just finding the time to play. It's really hard to play as much as I would want to, and still have to, I have other obligations. I mean, which is fine. At the end of the day, it is a game. I love it, but it is a game. And it's supposed to be enjoyed. I don't want to feel like I'm pressuring myself to play it. And I'm not to say even just the main league. The main league, I feel like is pretty generous when it comes to time. But you guys have so many side events that I would love to participate in, and
Yeah, it's hard.
I don't get to as much as I would like. But that's just the fact of the matter. Like I'm just not available in those days. But you can't really do much about that. Like you just got to go with when the most people are available to be able to play. And I understand that, but like, yeah, that's the biggest issue to me, and that can be solved by me just maybe getting more involved and maybe hosting some myself. Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
maybe at some point I might do that if I have time on certain days that I'm available. So
you get out what you or you get in what you get out what you put in. You
yeah,
know that's how it goes, right? Like this podcast, just something fun I started doing, and it's become a real fun thing for the whole league. And just like the drafts on Thursdays, and as we record, Miranda and Emmett are doing like a Jackbox thing, which is something that I would love to be a part of, but it's just I'm busy tonight, so I can't be in there. But that's such a cool thing that they do for the community. It's like it's not even Magic, but if everyone wants to get together and have fun, like then go ahead and do it. Like, oh, it's so cool and it's so much fun. There's always something going on. So I agree. It's like it's hard to find the time. Like I didn't get to play in any spaghetti series just because Thursday is not great for me. But I would love to just do random drafts or like the feature matches. If Mondays are bad, you don't get to be a part of it. There's so many things going on. So it's hard to make time.
yeah, yeah. That honestly the only really real struggle that I've had is that um yeah, I can't think of anything else that's really negatively affected my experience in the AGL so far.
Well, let's get to the questions from the league. I've been asking them for questions, and they did not disappoint. We have, of course, Miranda the Watcher. She would like to know what's one question about the league you've been wanting to ask but haven't had a good time/place to. Now is the time and place. Well, what is your question, Wyatt?
Yeah, so I've been really curious about the origins of this league. I've seen it mentioned a couple times. If I was to scroll through the Discord, just reading some messages, saw something mentioned about it was an IRL league at first in Montreal. And I've seen that some people talk about they used to play in like pro tournaments way back in the day. And like I said, I love to talk about Magic and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really, really curious where all this started and what made them want to do it and what made them want to bring it to Discord. They were like, well, I don't know what if it was, COVID or if it was before that or not. I don't know. Because I just haven't scrolled all through this stuff. I haven't just gone through and read every single message, but I've looked at a couple and it's just, yeah, I'm real curious about the origins of this league because it seems like there's a lot of interesting people that are involved in, creating it and keeping it going.
So I can answer some, if not most, of to somewhat of my ability. I'll probably get some things wrong, so my stuff's always hazy, but there's some truth in there, which is that Chris York, the tournament organizer, would kind of start this league up in various places that he lived. And he's lived all over the world. So either at some point there was a league in Japan, and then there was a league in I don't know, a bunch of different places. But then Chris York moves to Canada, and they play. There's a lot of Canadians in the league because they had this league originally was at a store, and I'm not sure if it was face to face or Three Kingdoms or a store that actually sponsors us now. I think it was face to face, which is a pretty big. It's like the Card Kingdom or the Channel Fireball, like of Canada, right? It's a big
Yeah, aren't they the
Canadian
ones
store.
hosting the big tournaments?
Yeah,
Like the
yeah,
big
yeah.
yeah.
They're a big store, so it's cool that they're a sponsor. Um, so they had this tournament, which was basically this, but in person. You meet people, you play packs. Loser goes and buys a pack, adds it to their pool, and they basically had this same thing, but in paper and in IRL. And you're right, pandemic, happens. They find a way to move it online, and then from there, it's kind of grown with like as more people come on, like more people know coding, so they start helping on the bots and like all the back end stuff, or there's people who know how to do podcasts or do the feature matches and commentary. So as more people come in, more things happen and it grows. Um, but it started out in a store in Canada, and that's where a lot of these people, and there are people who have played on pro tours, won GPs. There's a high level Jordan Jamtron, currently like a top 40 drafter on Arena. Like people with great resumes that are playing in this thing. So if you're getting stomped and beat up, don't feel too bad because the people in here are just yeah, they're so good. They are all so good and so cool. It's not just that they're good. Everyone in here is like cool and nice. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody is really nice, and that's what I love about it. And like, I am a little bit of a spike. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, you
It's
have to
just
be.
been in me,
You have to be.
and and it is nice to be in a Discord. I wasn't expecting so many good players. Like they're like a lot of the people I've been playing against. I've watched some of their streams when I've looked at it, they've done in Discord and the voice channels, and a lot of mythic players. And it just makes me
Yeah,
feel better because I personally don't feel like I have been getting stomped. So
that's good.
it makes me feel, I mean, I feel like the matches have been matches for the most part. I can definitely see where I've made misplays and stuff like that, but it just makes me feel better because I have never hit mythic in arena despite my best efforts.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe I'm just not that good at this game because my bro my brother I've always looked up to him in terms of him playing this game because he's always just been naturally gifted at it. Me and him, we had a legacy collection, and I was always have had bad nerves in real life Magic, especially when the prizes were big.
Oh,
And
for sure.
he's cool and he's good, and I was like, I just never felt like I was on that level, and I'm like, I'm never going to be able to do that. But playing against these people that I can tell are good players just makes me feel better because I'm like, okay, I'm not bad. I'm decent at this game. It's just, it is a card game. There's variance, stuff happens.
Yeah, it
So
happens. And
yeah,
not only that, but like playing in this league, like you will get better. Like you play against all these guys, like you're going to become a better player. It happened. It happened to me. Let me be the guy. Like before after picture. Like I used to not be so super great, and playing in the server is like, man, it has upped my game. I feel like I'm a little more consistent. I play a little better. I learn so much. So it's like try to take it in too, because there's just like you said, that everyone's good. There's no easy games here. Like everyone's playing good Magic.
yeah, for sure.
Jeremy. In fact, Jeremy played on the Pro Tour a couple times, a couple team Pro Tours, I believe. He's been playing Magic forever. He's always the guy telling stories from like, yeah, 1994, we played this card and it was a combo with this thing. He's wonderful. He wants to know what was the least intuitive slash most surprising aspect of the league that could really use some evangelism for some new players.
All right. So this is probably the hardest question for me, um, because earlier I mentioned that the league is put together so cleanly. Like it was quite easy to understand for me personally. Like it's with the bots and automation, it's great. Just to reiterate on that. But I think the most surprising to me, which again I kind of spoiled with an earlier question, unfortunately, but
Oh,
it's just how dedicated the people are in charge of this Discord seem to be. That was the most surprising It's just like I, I've joined two other limited discords before I joined this one, and it was just discussion, maybe some games and streams, people posting their decks, talking about stuff, but nothing like this. Like, it was the most surprising part is how much of a community is here and how they talk to each other like old friends almost for the most part, it seems. And a lot of people, multiple people streaming, watching streams, maybe not even necessarily talking, but it's just the fact that you have somebody there watching you also just kind of, it's like, okay, I'm doing something right, or I'm doing something interesting because these people are willing to stop and watch. So like that's encouraging when you're just grinding through drafts and stuff. Like it's just, that's what the community, it's just blew my mind, like how much they actually are present and active in the Discord.
Well, the community, it's amazing. And if you ever are around on the days where they do like the Arena Open or some big tournament, those days are great. Like everyone streams their games, everybody helps. It's those days are a lot of fun and really community oriented. So if there's like an Arena Open coming up on some weekend, oh, make some time and stop in. Those are some really fun days.
Yeah, I missed this first one unfortunately because I don't know. I could have maybe started one and done a couple games, but sealed. I'm like, oh, mom, power level. I'm like, I don't know if I want to spend all the gems to do
What, that's why you get
that.
the help. You get in there and you got all these people helping you, and you got help. You're not doing it alone, right? Even if you don't know the format, people are going to tell you. They're going to help you out.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Why this this question comes from me because I forgot to ask you this, and I kind of just threw it on you before we started recording. Uh, but what would your backup mechanic be? You enter the battlefild, you're a tempo player, your creature puts a counter on something that has an ability. What is your ability, Wyatt?
Yeah, I've been trying to think about it while also juggling the other questions, and I landed on one answer at first until I realized, oh, that's a non-bow. So I want to say it because I think it's kind of funny.
Let's hear
But
your
the first,
number.
because one of my favorite mechanics was Undying. So at first I was like, oh, back up Undying, but I'm like, oh wait, that kind of cancels out the mechanic because it puts a counter. I guess you could do backup zero and just give something Undying. There's no rule that says in can't be zero, right?
Yeah,
But
there you go. You know what? There you go.
but yeah, I've always liked Undying. Other than that, because I was trying to think of other ones, I always, if I remember how the mechanic works correctly, because I remember, like I said, first Ravnica was one of my first sets. I also always really liked Graft. So if you did backup Graft, they could just move their counters around. When they die. It's like it would be like a Bond Warden,
Oh
obviously the
boy.
common, but like. I like that. It's just a clean way to do that, and I've always liked Graft as a mechanic because I think it's fun to move counters around.
There's always counters in every set, right? You throw graft in, it's gonna work. It doesn't have to be a like even in this set, right? With all the +1/+1 counters. If graft was there,
Mm-hmm.
we'd be doing some broken things.
But if I could be a flash creature with backup zero, undying, I think that'd be really cool.
I like it.
Like
I like the
flash in as a
flash.
combat trick. Yeah, flash in as a combat trick, undying, so the creature comes back from the
Yeah.
from the grave with a counter on it.
Ooh.
Love it.
Even if you don't have another creature, you can put it on itself, right? So it comes right back. I like it.
For blocks, yeah.
Yeah. All right. This question comes from Steve, and this is I hope you brought your thinking cap because there's some math here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Alice attacks with Torbrand, Thane of
Mm-hmm.
Redfell. Nick blocks with Drowsing Pteranodon. Nick also controls Temple Altisor. What happens when combat damage is applied?
Okay, so you said there's math involved, and this is a trick question. There's not actually a lot of math involved at all. Um, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that because Nick controls the Tyrannodon, right?
He does.
I believe what happens is the Torbrand and the Altusaur, their effects both go on the stack because they're replacement effects. They go on the stack, and then if I remember correctly, the controller of the permanent that is being affected gets to decide how they're resolved. So he can decide how he wants to resolve that. If he wants his Tyrannodon to live, which I would hope he would make it to where the Altusaur would resolve last, so it would just take one damage. If he does it the other way, it'll take one damage and then two from the Torbrand and then die. So that's how I think that works. I'm pretty sure I'm correct on that, but I'm not 100%.
I have no idea. I have no clue. I didn't think about it at all. I just wanted to ask it. So hopefully that's right. If not, hopefully Steve knows the answer and can ping one of us and let us know. It sounds right. I mean, maybe. I don't know. This is a complicated game and complicated things are happening.
Yeah, but if that's correct, there's no math at all. It's just the player controlling the Pteranodon, which would be Nick, would decide how the abilities resolve, and hopefully he chooses right, and his Pteranodon survives.
Does the Altasaur? So this is my question. So Torbrand says, is it that damage plus 2? Is how much damage it does, right?
Yes.
And then Altasaur says, if whenever you're dealt damage, prevent one of that damage. Does it go? Is it 3? So is it 2 damage, prevent 1 damage with 2 extra, prevent one of the extra 2? So it only takes 2?
Yeah, so like I said, it's just a matter of how Nick wants them to resolve, if what I said is correct. So when the Pteranodon takes the damage, Torbrand and Altasaur both go on the stack. And then if he lets Torbrand resolve first, it is now taking 2 extra damage, which would be 3, and would kill it. And then when the Altasaur resolve, that would reduce the 3 to 1. If you do it the other way, the Altasaur would reduce the damage to 1, but then the Torbrand would give it plus 2 and make it do 3, thus killing the Pteranodon.
What a game.
Yeah, it's one of at first I thought it was a layers question, but then I was like, no, it's not layers. So it's a replacement effect. So it just depends on what Nick wants to happen, which like I said, I would think he would want his dinosaur to live.
I wonder that now after answering this question, I wonder if we have any judges in here because we've got people that like have these great Magic careers. We've got to have at least 1 or 2 level 1 or level 2 judges in this thing, I would think.
Well, I'm a level 0. I tried to do the level 1 test and I failed it. I could try again maybe someday. Maybe I could now because I have a lot more experience playing. But Arena also makes a lot makes you a lot lazy because it just it automates so much stuff. So maybe I'm even worse than I used to be.
Yeah, I tried playing in paper after, and I hadn't played in at least like 6 to 9 months. It's like, yeah, you got to remember a whole lot of stuff with playing outside of her. Even shuffling your deck is a little different and weird. You're like, oh, that's right, I got to do this and have them cut the thing, and I got to actually roll dice. Yeah, okay, that's how this works.
Yeah, I need to put reminders on my deck to like do upkeep effects. So I don't forget.
Right. Ooh. Thanks, Arena. Thanks, Arena, for making it an easy thing for all of us.
For sure.
Well, Wyatt, that's it, man. I want to thank you for coming on the show. I had a lot of fun talking to you, talking Magic. I hope you're enjoying your mom league, and I hope your games this week go well. I played through, like I said, I played through 4 of mine. I'm 2-2 on the week, and I hope your week's better than mine. Go out there and win some games, man.
That's the plan. I may play some today or not. It depends on what I have going on. But yeah, I appreciate you inviting me onto the podcast, and I really like talking about this stuff. It's awesome. I hope to get talk more about this stuff in the future. Maybe get more heavily involved in the community, like you said.
Yeah. Hey, if you play a game, put up a stream and just jump on a channel. You don't even have to say anything. People just start coming in. And it'll start a whole beautiful thing of like, being a part of the community, right? It's easy to do. You throw up a stream, you just start talking. You like to talk about it. Let people see and hear you, man. And this is a good way to do it. Coming on the show, I really do appreciate it.
Yeah. Again, yeah. Thanks. I'm happy to do it. Like anytime. I don't know if you have ideas for other podcasts in the future or anything, but anytime I'm up for doing stuff like this. I love it.
Okay. We'll keep you in mind. I got another show I just started with Chris York where we deck doctor the surgical bay, and so we've been looking at decks. Maybe we'll get your deck on there, but first, you got to go open some packs for us to get you on there. So,
yeah, I love the name Surgical Bay. By the way, that is that's a great name. I love it.
we came up with 4 names very quickly, and that one was like the one we went with. So, yeah, it worked out pretty well. That's the thing. You just pick a name, pick it quick, and go. Can't think about it too much, or you're gonna be
stuck forever.
No, you're gonna be sweating it the whole time, like way overthinking it. Surgical Bay. We all get what it is. It's a Magic reference. We're doctors. There's almost deck doctors, but apparently that's already a thing.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. I have the issue with oversweating things, so I totally get that.
Well, Wyatt, thank you so much for coming on the show, and good luck out there this week, man.
I appreciate it, man. Good luck to you with your final game this week and for the games in the rest of your week, man.
Hey, thanks. Wyatt was so cool, and right after the interview ended, he immediately played a game. I think he played a couple games that night and streamed them. And they were fun to watch. He's really becoming a nice member of the community, getting out there, making friends, doing his thing. And I saw him pick up a couple wins this week. So congrats, Wyatt. Way to go. And thank you again for coming on the show. If you want to come on the show, if I haven't asked you, it's not because I don't like you. It's because I'm so busy. I'm just so busy right now. So please say, hey, John, I want to come on the show. And then I don't have to find people to come on the show because that takes time. But in week 3, I always like to start a new segment that really only lasts from week 3 to week 6. And it's a league, and it's a segment where we say goodbye to the players that are no longer around, no longer with us, knocked out, eliminated, dead, whatever you want to call it. This segment's for you.
Oftentimes we would joke with each other who was Goose and who was Tom Cruise. Well, now that Shane is dead, I guess we know who is Goose.
Oz Z, Imperial Planeswalker. Dan K, Physician. David R, Rooster. Troy R, Penguin. Mike P, Unwieldy Biscuit. Desco C, Stando Power. Pedro D, Goombasa. Stephen J, Say Jow. A lot of drops this week. Most of those, 4 of those people were drops. I also didn't read a name from someone who canceled their registration. Don't know what that's all about. It seems like we don't normally have that many, but we do usually have a couple. And that's going to do it for the show this week, everybody. I hope you're out there playing some good Magic. I know I've been seeing some tight games, some really cool decks, 2 Lurrus decks in the Monday feature matches. And boy, is Lurrus a scary companion. Because they're going to be fast, and they're going to be, they're going to have something on turn 1, they're going to have something on turn 2, and Lurrus is going to buy it back. You got your Yorion players out there. I'm seeing some Lutri. I maybe even saw a Gyruda or an Obosh. So people are doing the companion thing. I love it. I love all the different decks we're seeing. I love the variety of not only decks, but of cards and planes. I think this is a great league. I'm having a great time, and I hope you are too. I hope you're enjoying the weird pick-a-pack mechanic we've got going on. And I hope you enjoy the show, because that's what it's here for. If you don't like it, don't listen. Please don't listen if you don't like it. There are better things you can do with your time. But get out there, play those games, get those wins, and play well. And while you're playing well, I hope that you get to keep a good 7, because that's where it starts. You can win a mold to 6, you can win a mold to 5, you can win a mold to 4, right? But a good 7, that's tough to beat. And I hope that the shuffler is in your favor. Because when it comes down to top decks and you're both looking for that spice off the top, you don't want to see land. 2-drop. Land. Oh. That top of your deck, that shuffler, I hope they fixed it. I don't know. It's been broken for a while. I hope they fixed it. And we'll see you all next week for week 4 of March of Machines League. See you then, everybody.